Greetings and salutations, my artsy friends. How is everyone today? So good, I hope. So good. I am I have been working on this piece for a little while this morning. I'm just loving the exercise of it. Do you know what I mean? I'm loving the hey Jamie, hi Sue. I'm loving the mindfulness that happens as I create it, and I'm trying to stick to artsy. Good morning, Deb. I'm trying to stick to artsyoxytocin. Their methodology to begin with. I find that I was thinking about, because I'm trying to introduce you to new artists that I am intrigued. Good morning, Sammy. How is Drummond Island this morning? I was just in the Sioux a few days ago, and I'm just going to tell you something. It was very gray and kind of chilly. I think Mother Nature got mixed up and didn't get the memo that it's spring. Flowers were blooming, though. I will say that. Hey, if you're brand new here, if you would like, follow, and subscribe to Corbiere-Scott Designs on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, I would greatly appreciate that. And then ask to join our private Facebook group, Stitch Along with Anne and Corbiere-Scott Designs. Those are private. I post all kinds of different things in those groups, and you can post photos in those groups. So be sure to join them. You'll be happy you did. And then if you would share and comment on any of these platforms, I would be so happy. On Instagram, there is a button across the bottom, and it looks like this. It's a banner, and that's how you save. So if you see something of mine that you really like, save it. So kind of like Pinterest, you can save things and you can make your own categories, like Anne's art. I'm trying to think, what are the other things that we see on Instagram? Yummy food, right? So you can make your own categories and then save items to those categories, and then you have a reference file in the future. Good morning, Peg. How are you? Hey, Keels. How are you? Anyway, let's get back to our abstract grid. So mine just keeps growing. The way I started it and the way it's going and growing are two totally different things. I made myself a limited palette. So here's my Mildliners. But you know what? Keely said she used colored pencil. You can use whatever you want. Color is color, right? I just happened to, because I was traveling, I knew I needed to take limited supplies. And so I took my Mildliners. I didn't know what my color scheme was until I went, and so I have this silly little thing, but it really worked for me. I have this little pencil bag that I think Lori got for me. Anyway, the colors that I used, I just put the caps at the opposite end of the other colors. Does that make sense? So then when I opened my bag, I didn't have to keep guessing which colors. I know that sounds a little simple and silly, but it really worked for me. Anyway, so I wanted to talk a little bit about when you see an artist and you are intrigued by their artwork, if you are inspired by their artwork, there's a couple of things that we can do. We certainly don't want to copy their stuff exactly and then claim it as our own, right? Because that would be cheating. We're not cheaters. But one thing that I like to do is I like to really study a new artist. Study like their composition and their colors and their just their whole vibe. Like, just really study it. And then I like to do a couple of things, and I would appreciate it if you did these things with me. You can follow them, like them, save their work, tag them. If you create something that you were inspired by their work, tag them. And that's a really simple thing to do, and that means that they'll see it. That makes a huge difference. Buy their work if you can. Take their classes if you can. If there's a class that is, if there's a class that's available, I almost always take their class. I want to learn everything they have to teach me. Do you know what I'm saying? Hey, Tam. What was the other? And then play with their techniques and let them grow in your art journal. That, I'm telling you, that's how we grow as artists, right? We try something new. We play with a new, just a new way. And then what happens is all of that gets mixed up in our artsy arsenal, in our noggin, and then it becomes part of us. Not their work exactly, but your what do I want to say? Your, like, how it becomes you, right? So one thing that I like to do is that I like to do it, my first foray into their world of artsy technique is I respect that artist, do it their way, and then grow it, right? Grow it in your own version. And so my goal is to finish this page, and sometimes I work on it for long periods of time, sometimes not so much. I tried to balance one thing I noticed that artsyoxytocin does is they balance their color and their black and white contrast very well. So I wanted to really be mindful of that. And then I started to, as I was working on this, I started to have this vision of something I wanted to create with the same idea, the same principles. Hi, Jamie. But then, you know, I'm all about flowers. So I was like, how can I fiddle around with flowers and fiddle around with this technique? So I just started to draw some flowers over here, and as I'm working on this, it'll be in my head. It'll be swirling around in my noggin. I'll be pondering like my colors, my color scheme, my patterning, my mark making, all of those things will be percolating in my noggin as I work on this page. So I'm going to continue to work in this area on this page while we chat this morning. As you know, I just got back from this big trip with my sister and my dad and my brother-in-law, and oh my gosh, we had ourselves a time. Let's see, I've started to make these bigger squares. I'm kind of digging that idea because that's giving me some big blocks of color that are really kind of speaking to me. And then I just take a moment to fill that in a little bit. And another thing that I noticed that they did in their work was they did long lines of lines, right? So I started one here, and now I'm just going to continue. Like I really, and they did them in all directions. So because you're working with a grid, that'll be easy to do, right? So they can be long bunches of lines, or they can be shorter bunches of lines. Just, excuse me. I just find the whole process so relaxing and, like I said, quite mindful, quite meditative. And I noticed that in their work, in artsyoxytocin's work, they fill every square. So that's my goal, is just fill every square. And I don't know exactly what that's going to look like, but I know it's going to be amazing, right? Let's see. So I read this thing, you guys, and it was so... So here's what I did, Keels. So I made my white space in other ways, right? I did these squares with circles. I did some open spaces like that. I mean, you can do, and your some of my mark making, they're small, right? Like these four little dashes that I still have lots of white space in there. So, but here's the thing, Keels. It's in your art journal. It's your piece. You do what is pleasing to your eye, right? Just, but like we did with this technique, do it twice. Do it twice. It will live in you more if you do it twice. Like I already have more ideas for this technique. Oh my gosh, I love it so much that I see myself doing this and growing it in different ways. I had so much fun with this. So this, I believe, will be the same thing. This one I'm going to do as close as I can to artsyoxytocin. And then this one is where I branch out and I start to, and you know what? Maybe I do it 7 more times. Who knows, right? Good morning, Jan. I will grow it and grow it and grow it. That's the thing about an art. That's what our art journals are supposed to be, right? Places to learn and grow and stretch and all the things. I'm just going to, so, and I find myself, tell me if this happens to you. I find myself doing some mark making, like I just repeat it over and over, all over my page. And then I come back and do, I do something else. I come back and I do a different, I don't know, a different technique. So anyway, I was reading this thing, and there's this guy that I follow on Instagram. You'll start to notice that I like to follow people who are inspiring to me. So, let's see. Oh, here we go. One thing, I like to follow people who inspire me. whether by their actions or their art or whatever the thing is, they inspire me in some kind of way. So I found this guy, and this is so crazy. I found this guy, and I've followed him for years. He has a father, an aging father who had Alzheimer's, and but he talked a lot about like how he just how he handled it all, how he processed things, how he tried to help his mother, how he to care for that father, all these things. Recently, that father passed, and it was emotional because I had I felt so invested, right, in the story. That happens when you follow someone. Good morning, Megan. Anyway, his name is LOSWHIT. So if you want to follow him on Instagram, LOSWHIT. So, and he's the most positive, I believe that he's kind of a motivational speaker in some shape or form. Anyway, he was talking about, he was on this trip, and while he was on this trip, he went to a secondhand store, a thrift store that was going out of business, and he found a Fisher-Price barn. Anybody remember that Fisher-Price barn? And it was $5, but it was marked down to $1, and so he bought it. And then he said, like the door was broken on it, but it just spoke to him in that moment. So he takes the, good morning, Kay. It is, that's so funny, Kay. But when I saw this, it's very Keely, isn't it? It's a very Keely kind of exercise. Anyway, so he bought the Fisher-Price barn, even though it had a broken door. And then he was bringing it home, so he had to fly home. I think was in Peoria, Illinois. Anyway, so as he's walking through the airport with this Fisher-Price barn as his carry-on, the amount of people that stopped him and said, "Oh my gosh, I had that same barn. Does it moo when you open the door?" He sparked so much joy just walking through the airport with this Fisher-Price barn. And then as he was experiencing that, he thought about how we're all walking around with invisible Fisher-Price barns from our childhoods. Those simple things that made us feel wonder, safety, pure joy. Somewhere along the way, we decided they were too childish. Maybe your barn door doesn't work like it used to. Maybe you're a little worn around the edges, but you haven't lost your ability to light people up just by showing up. Sometimes our most broken pieces carry our most beautiful stories. So then he puts the question out, what from your childhood makes you smile? What from your childhood sparks joy like that? And I thought that was so, when things are so, good morning, Carm. Carm is watching from places afar, from lands afar. Anyway, I thought it was so serendipitous that I should read this story because I just went on this trip with my sister and our father and my brother-in-law, but we went on this trip to our hometown where we grew up. And so it was filled with that. It was filled with a million things that wouldn't really probably mean anything to anyone else unless you like grew up in that community. One night we went out to dinner with our next door neighbors and darling friends, and we had this big discussion about, so both of our households had to haul our water. And so she said, my girls, her two daughters, used to really tease her about how much water she would put in the bath, because she would only just put a little bit of water. And she said, don't you find that to be true? And I said, oh, absolutely. I said, I remember that, because you were always taught to conserve water. You were always, don't waste water. That was such a huge thing in both of our households and our community. City water didn't come out to where we lived until years and years later. Anyway, so I just thought, isn't that, I said, I remember when I moved into my first apartment and I could fill my bath to the tippity top. I could like keep adding hot water. I could, I know that seems such a funny thing. Barbie Country Camper. Oh my gosh, I love that, Kay. I love that. Take a picture of that Barbie Country Camper and post it in our group. I would love that. Everybody take a drink. Anyway, it just sparked lots of thoughts for me about you know, things that we carry from our childhood. I mean, I know that lots of people carry not great things, but try to find something. Try to find something that was meaningful and sparked joy. When we visited we lived in 3 houses when we lived in Bay City. And so we rode around and found all 3. And each one of them sparked memories. I'm just going to tell you. It was just, oh my gosh, so amazing. Anyway, the last house we lived in on Portsmouth Road, that house, somebody else lives in there. But while we lived there, my dad built this patio out of bricks that he got from a job. My dad was a construction worker. And so on one of the jobs that he worked on, they were throwing away these bricks, and they each said Saginaw. So we lived in between Bay City and Saginaw. We were always this in between. The closest community to us was a little bitty town called Munger. Anyway, I remembered that patio so fondly. I remember watching my dad, you know, clear that space and tamp down the ground and then pour lots and lots and lots of sand and then tamp down that sand so it was all perfectly flat, and then lay these bricks and then all the concrete work, all of those things. So my plan, and you know how I like to make notes in my phone, my plan was I took a Ziploc bag of crayons, to write it, a Ziploc bag of crayons and some copy paper, because I wanted to do a crayon rubbing of that brick. That's all I wanted to do. I wasn't going to take it. Didn't, do you know what I mean? Anyway, while we were there, nobody was home. And so I walked around that whole house. I took pictures of, like, remember I told you there used to be a lilac bush underneath Teresa in my bedroom window. Well, it's not there anymore, but I did take a picture. I took a picture of our driveway and the front of our house and the back of our house and all the things. And then there used to be like a parkway. So our house was here, and then there was like a big, we called it a parkway. Like it was this big swath of land, and then our next door neighbors, the Irwins, where they were the ones that Shelley Irwin was the one that was telling that story about the water preservation. Anyway, the neighbors that live there now, the Wisniewskis, they saw my dad, and so they knew immediately who he was, and so he walked over there, and I walked over there, and my sister walked over, and we just, oh my gosh, it was like no time had passed. It was so lovely. And my dad had given them a bunch of those bricks, and they were in their barn. And Teresa and I had spent, and Jerry had spent so many hours walling away in that barn. It was kind of crazy. So we went in the barn, and she gave us each a brick. And so they're at my dad's house until I figure out how to get a brick home. Teresa will drive over in August. We're going to resume our sister's trips that we used to go on. I think I want to do a pink right here. Anyway, do you think I did that crayon rubbing? No, I did not. You know I'm all about the crayon rubbing, you guys. You know I love to, like, what can I... When I was in Chicago with Keely, I was like, oh my gosh, why don't I have some paper and crayons just in my purse? So I did pack... I don't think I have it right here. But I did pack, I cut up some copy paper, and I just made like a little pad of paper like this, and I put it in a Ziploc bag with that Ziploc bag of crayons, because I thought I could take like at least like some little crayon rubbings of things, right? I just saw a space of 4. No, I can't do a blue one there. Oh, here. I can do blue right here. Anyway, I hope that you will think about things that sparked joy in your childhood, and, you know, I need to like sit back from this every now and again and see what I can see. I have, I find myself, like, I draw these shapes, and then I fill them in with color, and then I draw these shapes, and then I fill them in with color, and then I, you know, all the things, you guys. Let's do some diagonals. Stop it, look how cute that is. Anyway, we had such a great time. I hope that you are able to take yourself on an artist date to someplace memorable to you. It doesn't have to be your hometown. It can be, do you know what I mean? It can be whatever tickles your fancy. But something that sparks joy. And like I said, find something there that you can do a crayon rubbing. Oh my gosh. Okay, Debbie. Tessa and I took a class. Carmen took it too. By B.B. Henry. I told you. I always take another artist class. They're a working artist just like me. Anyway, this was one of the pens that she used. And they are, I will put them in my, I'm working so hard on building my Anne's Artsy Arsenal up again. I will put them in there. They're the best. They're from China or maybe Japan. But anyway, they are a ballpoint. They're kind of a roller. And you know what? I'm so here for it. Oh my gosh. So we had meals with so many old friends. So remember, you guys have known, I tell you all about my friend Shelley O'Leary. She and I, oh my gosh, we're the ones that listened to music albums for hours, just over and over and over. And I'm sure her poor mother was like, could you please go outside and do something else? Anyway, we were talking about how I remember being so envious because she and her family went on big trips. They camped, but they went on big trips. Like they went to I think they might have hit every state in the Union. Anyway, she said that she remembers they went on a trip out west, like where I live now. And she was so mad at her dad because the Bay City Rollers were coming to Bay City. And he, pretty much ruined her life because she couldn't be there to watch the Bay City Rollers. Oh my gosh. I laughed so hard. I don't know that I saw the Bay City Rollers. We did have a giant mural. Back before murals were what they are today, we had this artist in Bay City called Terry Dickinson, and he used to paint historical murals all over Bay City. So I'm sure someone somewhere has a picture of that mural. I'll try and find it. Oh my gosh, you guys. It was all the go, as you can imagine. That's what I'm going to do for my second version of this technique, Valerie. I'm going to do this. I'm doing this page in artsyoxytocin's vibe. I'm trying to stick as close as possible to their vibe, to learn it, to study it, to be in it. And then this page, I'm going to take this technique and make it Annish. Do you know what I mean? Oh, so while we were in Bay City, we went to an antique mall. You know I'm all about an antique mall. Look what I found. I happened upon this box, and it was full of vintage postage stamps. So I have 3 French ones. These are 1990s commemorative stamps. So, and I haven't opened any of these yet. These are canceled stamps, and there's duplicates in here. So cool. Vintage U.S. postage stamps. I think this is canceled stamps. Duplicates are in that one. I thought, look at this one. Carm. It's Hispanic Americans. I thought my friend Carm would love that one. Hey, Michelle. How are you? And another package of canceled stamps. Right? Oh, my gosh. Oh, so another thing that I found at the Detroit airport, I know, Keely, I can't wait to go through them. I cannot wait. And at the Detroit airport, there's an artist store, and now I don't remember the name of the store, but I will find it. But in there, they sell local artists' artwork. And so, I'm all about supporting other local artists. Wait till you see the lino print that I bought. Buy art from artists, right? And this, buy art from artists, and the name of the artist company is Big Mitten Lino Cuts. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited to hang this up in my studio. I love it so much. I just love it, love it, love it. Isn't that beautiful? Mail call. So earlier this week, I got a envelope in my post office box, and look what was inside. So all of these things were in this pocket, right? So look at this. There's decorative stitching along here. It's folded pattern paper. This looks very Lindsay-like. And it's from, look at this. I can't, oh my gosh, look at this. So there's this little pocket, right? And look what's in there. Stop it, stop it. And then here, stop it, stop it. Oh no, there's a good bookstore in there, Barbara's Books. You know I bought some books there. A packet of seeds, help the pollinators, pollinator mix, grow good things. You guys. And hello, Keels, I bought that popcorn. I bought a bag of popcorn because that was my lunch at the O'Hare Airport. I liked it so much that I bought another bag to bring home. It was fabulous. Okay, look, do all things with love, and then I got this beautiful note from Lori Harris. It was just, oh my gosh. She sent me a thank you card for sending her the washi tape that she bought from me. How amazing is that? How amazing is that? Anyway, that just warmed the cockles of my heart. And there's another stamp, right? And you guys look, oh, sorry, Lori, I'll cover up your address. Look, she just went around the edge of the envelope with colored pencils. Totally gonna do that. Okay, and then I got some more mail from the lovely Kay Lobo. So look, this card was made by Keely. I recognize this artwork anywhere, Keely. And then Kay sent a beautiful thank you note. My thank you notes are, I took them all the way to Michigan to write out. Didn't have a moment, so I brought them all back. So that's a goal. I will be sending out my thank you notes. For a very belated birthday present that I gave to her. Another thing I wanted to share with you is Tessa got me this thing from, Tessa and I like to watch Shark Tank, so she comes over for Sunday dinner, and the boys watch whatever they watch, and Tessa and I watch Shark Tank. Hey, Paula! And so, you guys, look at this thing that she sent me. It's called Essence Wearable Nose Diffuser. So look at this. I haven't opened it yet. And you can buy all these different smells, right? And it fits in the bottom of, can you see that? It fits in the bottom, like in your the bottom of your nose. And then that's, and you can reuse it up to 30 times. So I'll test it this week. This one is energy. Who doesn't need more energy? So then you have like a little bit of a diffuser at the bottom of your nose. Some people are scent or like kind of very fragrance sensitive. This might not be for you, but for me, one time, and this all, she got me this because I told her this story. One time I was on an airplane and there was a lady who was perfectly lovely, but she had really bad BO, and I really wanted to have conversation with her. And she was holding her baby, and she was nursing her baby, and the baby had many blankets, so it kind of intensified the BO because everybody was hot, including me. Anyway, I went in my purse, and I usually always have some kind of essential oil in my purse. And so I pulled out my essential oils, and I just put a little peppermint under my nose. So then I could have lovely conversations with that person. You know I like to talk to a person on a plane, Keely. If they're interesting. If they're bothersome or they're a little drinky, I put my headphones on. Or if I'm just not feeling conversation. But anyway, I'll put this aside. Is this the greatest? Now I want to go on Big Mitten Lino Cuts and find all their information. You know what I mean? Anyway, so that's why she got me this wearable nose diffuser. So I'll wear it today and after class, and I'll give you a report in Oh, in the newsletter. I can give you a report in the newsletter tomorrow. Anyway, oh, another thing. So this Ziploc bag is full of treasures I found in my dad and my dad's neighbor's yard. So I think it's a maple tree, and it had all these little yellow flowers all over her front yard. And so I was out there picking up all these little flowers to make something with, make some kind of art with them. But look at this. Look at these beautiful forget-me-nots. Oh my gosh. I want to press them, I think. Oh my gosh, they're so beautiful. So, so beautiful. Anyway, that's another little weird treasure that I brought home. I didn't bring any plants or anything home from Keely's house, and I absolutely should have. I should have asked her neighbor, the art house one, if I could have a cutting from one of his bleeding hearts. They had, oh my gosh, they had so many beautiful bleeding heart plants. Let's see. Let's get back to this page. Let's see. I want to find another longie to do some more. There we go. Do some more line work over here. It's going to be a hot one again here today. It's supposed to be like 104, I think. Which is so crazy because I'm just going to tell you. Michigan was, I had one sunny day and the rest was all gray and dreary. Dreary, dreary, dreary. Oh, I was doing those diagonals for a while, wasn't I? That's kind of fun. Oh, look at this long, long line. That looks perfect for the... Doesn't that look perfect for the lines? I noticed... So how many of you have started following artsyoxytocin and Art by Melanie? Love that, love that, love that. Let's do some diagonals right here. And let's do some of those 4 dots. Let's do 4 dots. I find myself really enjoying this process, and I like going all the way to the edge. I like doing the all the way to the edge where it's kind of a small space. I don't know, something about that makes me happy. Okay, Deb, I wanted to ask you about that. I wanted to ask you about that, when that was happening. So tell me which weeks. Tell me which weeks. Or DM me if you're more comfortable. I know, you absolutely do need to concentrate on your rehab. Absolutely. Oh, Michelle. Rainy, rainy, rainy. Yeah, they both just I'm telling you. So let me know if you... May 30th. Okay. Oh, so at the beginning of the month. So lickety split. I'm so proud of you for taking care of business, you know? I'm so proud of you, Deb. We only get this one life. We got to take care of the vessel that we're in, right? So we can make the most of it. Everybody take a drink. Oh my gosh, you guys, there were so many lilacs. There were so many lilacs everywhere we looked. Every shade of purple. It was just something to see. That's for sure. And we stayed in a little Airbnb. Heck yes, you do. Oh, Debbie, you know, so there's stuff that I bought at that antique mall that I can't share because it's for the retreat in September. What was I going to say? Oh, so you know I did do some crayon rubbings when I was in Bay City. So we stayed in this gorgeous little old house that was probably built in the 30s. And it was filled with the most beautiful hardwood floors. And so I did so many, look at this one, so many crayon rubbings of those floors. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Just all about it. All about it. Hey, by the way, so I was just this is how my brain works. So I'm showing you those and I'm thinking about the shimmery paint that I want to paint on top of them. Beam Paints came up with 4 new colors and I just ordered them. So as soon as they arrive, I will share them with you. I will let you see them. I will paint with them. But they are, I'm trying to think what the 4 names are. But if you go on Beam's website, you'll see the 4 new colors. Anyway. Support those local businesses, would you please? And if you would let them know that you heard about them from me. I want them to know that I support them in every way possible. Any of the companies that I share with you, if you would let them know that you heard about them from me, Rachel Beth, Beam, The Crafters Workshop, Thermoweb. Oh, because don't you know I have like some ideas about that, about what we can do some this way. I did some up and down, let's do some across, you know. I wonder if we do this. What if we do a square inside of a square and then we outline the square? Shut it! Kind of digging that, you guys. So I'm thinking, oh, that's so sweet, Tam. That's so sweet. I did get, like my mind is swirling with all kinds of ways that I can grow this technique. I'm seriously, but I did just get this, a beautiful remembrance. So remember that they call, is it Veterans Day? It's Remembrance Day, and now I don't remember. Oh, no, this is for, Rachel Beth had a family member die, and so she was very sad and grieving. And so she, look at this. And I love that I got to peek a little bit into her process, because she and I had an exchange, and I found out that this was named after her aunt. Warmth giver, fierce fighter, vibrant energy, boisterous laugh, loyal listener. You guys, I feel like we got a little pocket of her aunt with us. And then this is apricot sweet peas from Bright May Flowers. And what is this one? Golden Smoke Bush by Bright May Flowers. So now I'm like, well, now I need to start the search for Bright May Flowers. Anyway, I can't wait to swatch these. And oh, I think she absolutely did. And you know what? I was someplace, and so I wasn't able to get the what's the tomato one, Tam, that she had, because she brought it out again, and I wanted to order it, and then, well, anyway, it went fast. It went fast. All of her stuff goes so fast, because her products are just supreme. That's for sure. That's for sure. Now I'm wondering, I have a couple of these little spaces that are six squares, right? So it's kind of a rectangle. And I was wondering, what if I do like a box in a box in a box, right? A rectangle into a rectangle and right. Stop it. Loving that. Okay, let's find another set of 6. Here we go. Can I do one more? Yes. And a line. Stop! I love that. Ooh, here's another one. It's kind of like a word search when you're looking for, or hidden pictures or something, where you're looking for a certain shape. Loving it so much. Looking for another 6. Looking for another 6. Search, search, search. Search, search, search. Oh, here's one. I'm telling you, she's just amazing, isn't she? One time I sent her a note and said, I was working on something like a project, and I said, what do you have that's avocado green and hot pink? And then she sent me a list, and she was like, send me what, let me know what you want. I'm telling you, she was lovely. She was just the loveliest. She was. We just got to keep supporting those artists, the independent ones especially. This needs one more line. As you're looking, you start to see like, oh, maybe it needs a little of this, little of that. You know what I mean? So this, I did some mark making with my colors, so I thought about that. So I did the orange. So let's do purple. I don't know. So do you see I did these stripes with the orange? So now let's do like a circle of purple. I don't know. It just seems kind of fun. That's kind of cool. Oh my goodness, those purple dots are making me so happy. Like it just makes me, like the more I feel it, the more I just love it. What if for yellow, what if I did, remember the square inside of the square? The square inside. Bay City Rollers. Now they're in my head, you guys. Saturday night. Anybody remember it? Saturday, night. There we go. Now we're going to turn it around, look at it from all the ends. So, bye, Deb. We will be thinking about you. Shut up, you have that 45. I love it. I love it, Kay. That's so funny. Teresa and I were just talking about our 45s that we stored in a crock. Remember, like a crockery crock that was the perfect circumference to fit 45 records. Oh my gosh, those were the days, weren't they? Those were the days. Okay, so start to think about what sparks joy in you from your childhood. I'm sure there's something. Work on your abstract grid over here, trying to stick pretty close to artsyoxytocin's techniques. Look at their Instagram and really be inspired. And then over here, do another page of it. Do another page of it. Just fiddle around with it. I adore you all. Gosh, remember how much I adore you and how grateful I am to just hang with you and make art. I adore you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone. And I will see you in the newsletter tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Don't forget to open.